This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
You are listening to Lucha Afterground.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to, I guess the final episode of Lucha Afterground for the next, who knows how long.
For a while. For a while.
At least I've been hearing as much as 6 months.
Yeah.
My name is Max, and with me, as always,
is Travis.
Travis walked into this apartment today just like on fire.
I am.
On fire. He's
hyped.
Jacked.
For a number of reasons. I'm also involved in a lot of another thing that gets my blood boiling. Just you get in text political feuds with friends and that kind of gets your blood pumping. That's how it happens sometimes. You know what I mean, right?
You got into a Twitter fight?
No, just texting with a mutual friend of ours who will remain nameless.
Okay, who could that be? Anyways, Kevin Banner?
No.
Kevin Banner is still in hospital in Thunder Bay,
and still closer to my beta cuck views.
Okay, let's move on right now.
Welcome to Slamtown, you pasty string bean.
So I think we got some news and notes. I'm jazzed for a number of reasons aside from these things. But let's talk Lucha Underground quickly.
Yep.
So they don't have a card set up for Mania weekend as usual, which is just. What are you doing? Just
seems strange, yeah.
And they could have been doing this.
I'm sure that the wrestlers on that who would be performing for them are probably all going to be in
that's what
Orlando.
I was going to say. There's a
WrestleCon.
WrestleCon show that looks like it has a lot of Lucha Underground talent. So if you are in the neighborhood around that time, check it out.
If I'm not mistaken, last year at WrestleCon was that big, insane, 4-on-4 match that devolved into pure,
that
chaos.
was one of the nights. I think WrestleCon is a couple nights.
Yeah, and that Matt Striker and Killshot, Shane Strickland were involved in that.
Yes, and
definitely seek that
Striker
out. Striker
played Sinestro Del Muerte. That's who he was playing. He had the purple mask.
No way.
Yes. Striker was not... I could be thinking of another.
I think he came out as a different character that removed the mask to reveal himself as Striker halfway through. Yeah. Anyways, so could be crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, locally, this is why I'm really jazzed. I'm not going to there's a big show tonight, ECCW Barroom Brawl. It's their marquee show. I don't want to put myself over too much, but I'm kind of directly responsible for it.
It's true.
Yeah. But this is the 7th one. It's a biannual event. It's the biggest wrestling show in town, and some exciting matches coming tonight.
How many tickets do they sell for that?
I want to say it's gone up to 35.
3,500.
How much are tickets is what I thought you said.
No.
I think they can fit about I want to say 500.
500? So that's a sold out 500 person show.
Yeah,
pretty good for them.
And that's there's mystery opponents and this sort of thing, and usually they have to add they've had Brian Cage work shows. They've had
Shane Strickland,
Colt Cabana,
Jeff Cobb.
Not
for ECCW. Well, Jeff Cobb comes to town occasionally.
He does a lot, but usually they need a big name to sell out these shows. But this show sold out just based on this very talented roster that we have here.
Yeah.
And there's still, I'm putting wrestling Twitter on. I mean, by the time people hear this, there's something of note is going to happen tonight. I have sources.
All right.
I cannot reveal them, but it's exciting. It's really exciting. It's going to be a great night.
Dark arts, my friend.
Yep.
All right. So news and notes. Lucha Underground news and notes.
Yes.
Melissa Santos was doing some kind of live social media thing, Periscope or Facebook Live, something like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she made mention that a Netflix deal was coming soon.
Yeah.
Now, do you think this is just somebody who's sort of on the peripherals, just repeating the sort of that line which we've heard for years and years? Or do you think that maybe this is a clue that maybe something actually is happening?
I think there is smoke, but I also think Lucha Underground's MO is soon or to be determined.
No kidding. And not just for us, the audience, but also for the people involved.
The roster, everybody. To answer your question, I think in a way she might just be kind of towing company line.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you think that season 4 will actually happen?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Okay. Right now, I would say my confidence in it is low. I'm not dismissing it outright, but the sheer fact that it doesn't feel like they're gaining momentum.
Nope.
It doesn't feel like it's so. If a Netflix deal happens and then it becomes super popular on Netflix, gets a nice little resurgence, 100%. But right now, it's
it just feels like a not well thought out company strategy.
Well, maybe they. I don't know what else they could have done, really.
I guess, but I just there's forward thinking in their storylines, but as a brand, I haven't noticed a lot of the same sort of forward thinking, like that. Like I said, like them not having a show at Mania weekend. They've had 3 opportunities to do this now. And I understand that there might be other commitments or whatever, but they still have enough of a roster to just build your brand, you guys. Come on, get it out there.
I know. Well, I think there's so many conflicting. They don't have any of the wrestlers. None of the wrestlers are theirs. They're either triple A's or they're independent guys. So there's a lot of balls you got to juggle there.
Sure.
Maybe if they just gave, what would be the harm in taking your first season of Lucha Underground and just giving it to Netflix and just being like, here it is, it's free. Just include it with your catalog. That would probably drum up a lot of interest.
I think so too.
Just some more free business advice from Max Mitchell.
That's how you do your job.
All right, so here we are, what did they call it? The eye-popping season 1/2 mid-finale, whatever it is.
What do they call Rich Swan? They've given him the dumbest.
Not outrageous, but
it's
something
outlandish. The
outlandish
mid-season finale.
Overall,
season 3, episode 19.
That they did not plan for this to be a mid-season finale.
No,
and it could not feel like it. For me, this whole thing just landed with such a dud. In terms of it being like some sort of cliffhanger or season finale.
I disagree. I wasn't totally into this whole episode, but I loved the finish.
It was very mysterious.
Yes, that's what you call a cliffhanger, sir.
I guess so. I'm not really invested. Okay, we'll get there. That's the last thing we'll talk about. Yeah. All right, well, let's get going here.
Season 3, episode 19, Lucha Underground. Recap begins with Dragon Azteca Jr. and Matanza. Then a little bit from Cortez taking on a new persona, being given a mask from Captain Vasquez.
Oh, that's right.
A little Famous B and Tejanos back and forth, and more of Mac and Johnny Mundo.
I'm gonna take you to Slam Town, you fat piece of trash.
You're just a fat piece of trash. Now somebody get this fat trash out of here.
Right, so first segment is in Dario Cueto's office, and who's there? Lamas!
Yeah, that was exciting. Yeah. It's been a while. It's been too long.
Yeah. Making sure, and he's just checking in and making sure that Cage has been wearing the gauntlet, because there we confirm,
yes.
As confirmed, it is cursed.
Yes. See, there you go. That's why we are the premier Lucha Afterground, Lucha Underground after show.
So soon we will be men among gods.
Yes, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean,
these guys are at least in the know or have an idea of what's coming.
Of what's happening. Do you think that do you think that the writers know where this is all heading?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a full season. They filmed the full season.
Well, that's true.
There may have to be some injury cards played where they have to put the belt on a sexy star or something.
MVP was supposed to be involved in this. Did he get fired before they even shot anything with him?
Because on a podcast he revealed that Katrina was 500 years old.
Yeah. But was he not? He was supposed to be wrestling.
He hadn't done
a single thing yet.
No, it's a shame.
Well, now in this scene, Lorenzo, what's his real name? Or what's his real name is Lorenzo.
Councilman Delgado.
He expresses some concern that they might be out of their league.
Yep.
That things are, and then Dario says, but the gods will, they will owe us a great deal. So Dario is confident that everything will work out just fine. Do you think I would be excited if later on down the line, maybe Councilman Delgado has some second thoughts about all this.
Sure.
You know?
And he ends up being the white knight at the end of this.
That could be awesome.
Renegade, if you will.
You know what I loved about the transition between season 1 and season 2 was when Dario left and Katrina took over, you know, of the whole temple.
Yeah.
I would like to see them bring that sort of thing back, where people can kind of take over the temple
and kind of bring in their own interior decorators.
Yes, exactly. They make changes to the way things are run.
Yeah. More chimps, more of the chimps.
More chimps, just chimps all day.
Not the band, just actual chimps in the
Yo,
crowd.
that would be great. We're no believers, just monkeys. Fuck, that's dangerous. Chimpanzees are extremely dangerous animals. I just want to put that out there.
Okay, I guess I'll have to rethink my plan.
Yes. Oh, I'm telling you, there would be they don't just kill you, they do horrific things to you. They tear your face off. People get their faces torn off.
That sounds like a new mood in the temple to me.
Dark arts, my friend.
Oh, wait, this one's probably better.
Oh my God, bro, he could have killed her.
Talking about a
Face
chimpanzee.
get torn off.
Yeah.
Also here, so Dragon Azteca Jr. enters. And he says a quote that I've only ever heard on reality TV shows and when I was in teaching school, and that is, "I'm not here to make friends."
Yeah, God,
I hate that. It's one of my least favorite phrases in the English language.
I know. Every time I have a friend who's talking about, oh, you know, I'm thinking about going back to teacher school, I tell them that story.
Good.
That my friend Travis, when he was in teacher school, the only time he was ever heard, "I'm not here to make friends." It's when he was in his classes. Like, that's insane.
Yep.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to learn how to teach kindergarten kids. God damn it.
Go fuck yourself.
Jesus.
So he gets his match with Matanza, Dragon Azteca Jr. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's a death match.
It's a death match. So immediately I'm like, the last death match we had was King Cuerno versus
Matanza.
Mil Muertes.
But what about Mil Muertes' Puma? Grave Consequences.
Well, that's Grave Consequences. But I mean, they just have different titles.
Tomato.
But they have the same. I think they have the same stakes.
Yes.
Right. Which is basically, if you lose, you are quote unquote dead.
The same implication.
Yeah,
yes.
unless somebody does something to bring you back.
Yep.
So somebody you're really put into like stasis, you know, in terms of this, until somebody can come and get you out.
Good.
Cuerno has never come back.
Nope.
And I don't think he's going to. I think him and Conan are the only two characters to remain. Oh, and the Disciples of Death, I suppose. They're not.
And a guy who got a shout out today.
Who?
Big Rick.
Oh, yes. Well, Big Rick was killed off camera in the comic book.
Yeah.
So, yeah, immediately, here we have a death match. Matanza is not going to lose. So, as soon as they say death match, I'm like, Dragon Azteca Jr. is going to die.
Yes.
And this is the end of Dragon Azteca Jr. Shocking.
To some, but comic book dead, you know?
Well, yeah, this is what I mean by the stasis, right?
Yeah. I noticed Councilman Delgado, also an alcoholic. I'll drink to that. Like, I think he finished off 4 fingers of scotch just in this this conversation. So after Dragon Azteca leaves, Dario Cueto gets on his red phone and tells him that he's on. It's a death match tonight.
Yeah, who is he calling?
That's my question.
I don't know.
Is it Time Traveling Cage?
No, I don't think so. Why would he tell him?
Because remember, he doesn't realize he's the boss.
This episode was super weird, actually, for like learning about how the temple functions. We had that moment where he calls somebody to alert them that there's a change.
I know the other one you're going to get.
But who did he call, and why did they need to know? I mean, I guess there would have to be somebody to get the word out on the street underground, get the whisper campaign going. The main event tonight.
We're going to kill somebody.
That's right. Everybody wants to be
proper authorities.
Right.
Wink, wink.
And then
I know the other one. I'm going to guess already. Is it security guards?
Yes, security guards.
Yeah, I had a problem with that.
So later, there's this big brouhaha between Willie Mack and Johnny Mundo, and then there's like 8 security guards.
Yes,
who we've never seen before.
I know.
Who should not exist. And if they do exist, you should not have like branded
Proper
black
security.
Polo shirts that say security.
Like, I got the city is on my back. I got to hire these guys.
Why don't they do something between Councilman Delgado and Dario Cueto to make the temple sanctioned legally?
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
sure.
and then that way you can answer all of this.
Yeah. Great.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you could have another character who's like the person in charge of television production.
Good.
And
Something
because they're
like
selling DVDs on the internet, not for television, just DVDs on the internet.
I knew as soon as those security guards showed up, you were going to lose your shit. Incongruous.
It's hard, you know. I want to be on board with everything they're doing, but they're making it hard.
Yeah. Snug. So we enter the temple. Metalachi is back playing the familiar
Mexican hat dance. These guys, like these guys, they do La Bamba. They do twice. They do the Mexican hat dance, and they do what was the other one?
Like more old world kind of
I don't know.
Accordion.
I would be surprised to find out none of them are Mexican.
None of them have any Spanish or Latino blood in them at all.
No kidding.
So we got word from our fan, Mr. Charlton. Man in the Wedge is on the shelf.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, like, if our heart's not in it, to not do it. I told him, you get us, bro.
Yeah, that's right. I said that.
And I said it would have to be spectacularly of note for us to bring it back.
Yeah, I would agree. You know, we've been talking about it for the past like maybe 6 or 7 episodes. We haven't been doing it. I don't even think people who have joined us even know what it is, and they never will. Yeah. And that's totally fine.
Oh my God, bro! He could have killed
Man in the Wedge.
Man in the Wedge. Yeah.
So Matt Stryker asks Vampiro about Mil Muertes and what happened last thing, and Vampiro cuts his promo with this kind of quiet rage to the camera here.
I liked it.
Me too. I did.
They really got to get Vamp off commentary though. Period. He can either be on commentary or he can play this character, but he can't do both because the transitions are too jarring.
Who did they have at the season 1 finale when Vampiro was wrestling? British guy. Was it? It wasn't Neil. It wasn't McGuinness, was it?
Oh, God, I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Anywho, first match, Tejano versus Joey Ryan. There was one little funny bit at the beginning when Tejano's kind of making a face about all the oil on Joey Ryan's. A nice little reaction. I like that. Vampiro makes a comment about Tejano being a guy who makes minimum wage.
Yeah.
Did not care for that. I don't know if it could have been innocuous, but there's attachments to that in the Latino community that's not.
Oh yeah, well I think that's what he was getting at, but I think it was more like he was trying to say he was like an avatar for like the minimum. I don't think
it kind of came out that way.
No, I agree.
No.
I agree. I think it was Vampiro just spews commentary.
No filter.
Yeah, and I never think his intentions are to come across like in that way, but. He's just a step off sometimes.
Oh,
sometimes?
Sometimes a few
always.
steps. Yeah.
Always off.
Sometimes a giant leap.
He's super enthusiastic, and I appreciate that about him. And I think that there's certainly a place for him in Lucha Underground. But I think one of the things that is if you want to take a step forward, the easiest thing to do is replace Vampiro on commentary. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
I agree. I think he's a big part of this company, but I think for the benefit of the company, he's better as just a character.
Yep, without a doubt. I think he does fantastic in his character role.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah. So,
so he also mentions Tejano's dad during some of his offense. So it sounds like he comes from a lineage.
He does.
The premier Lucha Underground. Some good Tejano offense. Moves outside and back in. What's his name? Joey Ryan does the lollipop bit. Enter Famous B and Brenda.
In new gear. Yeah. In Tejano themed gear.
Yeah. It was a nice touch.
I love it. This is the first time I've been like, Brenda.
Yeah.
Hello, Brenda. Something about the nurse costume before seemed too like, I don't know, like fetish ball.
Gotcha.
Or something.
Yes. Well said.
Thank you. Cowgirl Brenda, I can get down with.
Yeah, good. Here, it was interesting that Matt Stryker right away assumes Famous B is there to support Tejano when in this mystery kayfabe world, he's not supposed to know about the backstage vignette.
Well, he's dressed as a cowboy.
That I guess that's
he's also coming out and yelling like, "This is my guy. This guy is great."
He hadn't said anything about it. Like it was right away. I think this was meant to be pushing the storyline, but I think he kind of. Broke that little bit of that kayfabe they have there.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I like the Don Flamenco reference. I know you do too.
Yeah, except that I'm such a huge like
Nintendo fan.
retro gaming nerd that Don Flamenco did not look like that even remotely.
No.
Don Flamenco was Spanish, and he had a rose in it. Like there was just nothing there.
Yeah, he was balding.
Yeah,
You got to get out of the way of that uppercut. Like he goes straight up.
that's true.
Yeah.
He is immediate counterattack. So when you swing at him, that's what you have to do. You have to punch Don Flamenco, and then he will immediately counterattack. So you punch, then dodge, then you can hit him.
And then come in left, right, left, right, left.
Yeah, if you go left, right until he's dead.
Way quicker.
Easiest match. Easier to quick. You can beat him faster than you can beat Glass Joe.
Yeah.
Anyways.
We could talk about Nintendo Switch for a while if you want. No.
Off there.
Okay. I thought there's no heat in this match. There's a good drop kick spot and a plancha. I thought Tejano was doing most of the work in this match. Joey Ryan finally with that nice pump handle slam.
The thing is that there was no reason for these two to fight to begin with, right?
There was a bit with Joey going to get the rope. Then Brenda gives Tejano a horseshoe and hits Joey Ryan for the win. There's no reason for these two to be fighting. There's no anything there. But it moved plot, but it was not much of a match.
And I don't think one of my issues with this is that Tejano doesn't really need to cheat to beat Joey Ryan.
No, but I like that. I liked the post match wrinkle that he's not sold on Famous B, but
he's sold on Brenda.
Brenda. I like that. And he had a really good facial.
I don't know why I picked that one. That didn't make sense.
He had a really great facial, some nice acting at the top of the stairs there too about kind of showing a bit of indecisiveness and what the fuck thing. Next, this is good. Johnny Mundo in the ring talks about Taya. He's on the mic. Talks about Taya making a documentary.
Oh, I wanted to before we move on, I had a moment here when we were in this moment. At the end of that whole sequence with Tejano, Famous B, and Brenda, what's interesting is that, and this is a testament to I think Lucha Underground and what they've done with these characters, that we had in the ring at one time a black guy, a Mexican guy, and a white woman, and each one had a character that was nowhere near remotely what you might where you might go with those, right?
Yeah.
No, the black guy wasn't like some gangster or like a funky dancer.
There's
guy.
a little bit of hip hop kind of things.
But not really. You know what I'm saying? The Mexican guy is like a blue collar cowboy who's billed from Texas.
But Brenda is a blonde bimbo.
Brenda is a blonde bimbo. Damn it. Well said.
I like where you're going with that.
I'm trying to do something there. Just trying to repair race relations in America
and sex and gender relations.
That's right. All in one soundbite here on Lucha Afterground.
We did it. Next. As I said, he talks about Johnny Mundo's in the ring on the mic. He talks about Taya making the documentary. I thought the booze felt really pumped in here, and there was really bad crowd at it.
But I understand.
I think it got better as it went along. I think it's got more natural as it went along. But
I actually didn't mind it for some reason. I think it added to it. I guess we don't know. I would love to have seen this without the sound being pumped in.
Me too.
Were people chanting for Mundo?
I think so.
They were like, love him.
Yeah, and he had to kind of start to turn on him and stuff and get the proper reaction, or the reaction they were hoping for. I like Jack Evans and PJ Black just hanging around.
Yeah.
So Johnny Mundo calls it out on the best in this upstart fight league. Like he doesn't even know what to call it.
I
know. We get the Big Rick shout out among some other names. And then this is when the promo started to get really good, when he says, "You call yourself believers." They hit their funny pose and moonwalk out, and he wants to be by himself, and it's Mac, and there's some more fat stuff. I really like
You're just a fat piece of trash. Now somebody get this fat trash out of here.
So he says, "You're not built to last all night long." He's like, he calls out that, is he call him popcorn guy, the guy who had the popcorn, because it looked
hot
like
tub guy.
He called him hot tub guy. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't understand what that
Eating
meant.
Funyuns. That must be so inside.
That's Deshaun. I know Deshaun
yes.
because he interviewed Rocky Romero.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
We should send it. I'll tweet it him.
Like I said,
I'm sure he's on Twitter.
Yeah, this promo really was getting great, and he finished it with "This is my world." But the last thing he says is "Believe that," and that's what are you doing?
Oh, that's
Roman Reigns. Like someone's got to. If you're making edits, it wasn't overt.
Believe that is not. I mean, there's not. It's not trademark. He can do whatever he wants.
All right. I guess so. I mean, the Mac does everybody else's shtick. Speaking of which, he comes in kicking ass. PJ Black and Jack Evans come back. Stunners on both of them. On the Jack Evans one, you really got a good look at the Mac's long belly button.
God, you're obsessed.
You're the one who first pointed it out to me. I'm just making a point. And then here's where we're talking about Johnny Mundo starts losing his mind and calling for security when it comes to him. And they come and I'm like, who is this? Who hired these people?
I thought it would be so... When he started calling for security, I popped for that because I'm like, there's no security here, you idiot. And then there they come. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and like they all came from the same spot. Like they're all just like 6 of them waiting in like a small room.
It was, oh, God.
It would have been good if there was like Mundo security or something. Like just make it more clear that it's like guys he's hired.
He walked in with them. Yeah, totally. It's just... WWE
it's
beginning
stuff.
to come. It's beginning to feel a little WWE at times, buddy. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I thought
hate
that sucked. I thought that part sucked. This was the
whole sequence. I thought the promo was great, and then Matt comes in. Okay, that's fine. But then the whole stuff with the security, I like the pull apart. I always love a good pull apart.
Yep.
But then when the Mac starts attacking security,
yes,
I'm like, this is so weak.
It's so stupid, and they were really soft, and the guys couldn't really work.
It was.
Yeah. Oh, so he gets quickly on the mic. It was simple and effective. Didn't have to say much. And then there's a holy shit chant for no reason.
I know.
And I'm sure that was pumped in too.
No, I don't know if that's true. I think that wrestling fans are just usually can be just some of the worst, dumbest people in the world. And sometimes they pop for the weirdest, dumbest shit. And and I'll never understand it. If it was my choice, if I could banish, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
What? The what chant?
Yeah. And now fight forever. Fight forever doesn't mean anything.
I know. Well, that one doesn't seem to be overused yet.
It was overused. It was not real the second time it was used. The only time it was real and organic was the first and only time it happened.
Yeah. That was Nakamura versus Sami Owens?
Yeah.
Or Sami Owens.
No, they're like brothers.
It feels that way. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I can't see a scenario where somebody would start pumping in, this is awesome. Oh, actually, I can. But yes. I don't think Lucha Underground is that egregious.
No. But there wasn't... The holy shit chant, there was no reason for it at this point.
I know. I don't get it. This whole sequence was like, what are we doing here? At this point, I didn't even realize. I was still thinking it was a double episode at this point.
Yeah. No, I looked early on to see because when I saw in the recap that they were promoting it, I'm like, is this thing an hour and a half? Nope, 45. There's no way this match is happening.
Yikes.
Anyways, we'll have to wait a bit we'll have to take a break before we get to see that match. And why don't we take a break ourselves and hear some words from our friends at Place to Be Nation.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Voice of Ring of Honor's Kevin Kelly here. I just want to make sure you're all subscribed to all of our great feeds here at Place to Be Nation. Now, it's really easy to do. Just head to iTunes or your preferred podcatcher app today and search for and subscribe to the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, Place to Be Nation pop feed, Pro Wrestling Only feed, and, of course, the Kevin Kelly Show feed, which includes the full archives of my podcast. Subscribe, listen, and then rate us and leave feedback today. And of course, as always, enjoy all the great action of Ring of Honor Wrestling and everything presented to you on PlaceToBeNation.com.
Place to Be Nation's JT Rosero here, and I want to let you know that we have a ton of great podcasts available to you on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlaceToBeNation.com, and we offer them to you across 2 great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed, you can check out Scott Criscolo and me on the Mothership, the Place to Be podcast with our famous Vintage Vault pay-per-view reviews. PTBN also covers current day wrestling with the smash hit Clotheslines and Headlines. our steady veteran main event, and the beloved monthly pay-per-view reaction shows with immediate feedback on all Pro Wrestling Super Shows. Relive wrestling's past with our monthly pay-per-view rewind series led by Ben Morse, the always contentious Dangerous Alliance podcast, and Survey Says, a fun look back at the good, bad, and ugly of WCW. On our very popular PlayStation Nation Pop podcast feed, we offer such great shows as the Glenn Butler Podcast Hour Spectacular, Rank and File, NBA Team, Lucha Undead, Geek and Sassy, and a veritable podcast heaven for comic fans with hard-traveling fanboys, Sellers Points, Todd Weber's Conversation, and Imaginary Stories. Subscribe to both of those feeds on iTunes and rate and leave feedback for us as well. All of these shows plus others available at PlayStation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus tournaments and more. Be sure to support our site by using PlayStation.com/Amazon when doing your online shopping, and download our free Place to Be Vintage Vault Refresh ebooks via the links on the right-hand side of our site. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and Fall River, Massachusetts, TheHistoryOfWrestling.com, and Scott Keith's Blog of Doom. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlayStation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
The PWO PTBN feed has changed its name. Now it will be known simply as Pro Wrestling Only, so it should be easier to find and indeed to say. All of your favorite shows are still here, including Where the Big Boys Play, Letters from Kayfabe, Titans of Wrestling, Tag Teams Back Again, This Week in Wrestling, and many, many more, including our full archives of tremendous content. So make sure you subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Only feed today.
All right, dude. Oh, you have some?
Yep. So I was thinking about some of like the standard kind of episodes that you see throughout 80s sitcoms and things like that. And there's always I remember there's always seems to be like a good bowling episode with that where they have to go bowling. Okay. So here's my
where is there bowling episode?
Lots of shows like Growing Pains and like
the only bowling episode I can remember is from the Edison Twins.
Yeah. There you go. So
they had to use to use special sunglasses, and they noticed that there was wax on one of the.
If anyone out here knows, like that's purely Canadian and a small contingent of older Canadian listeners, the Edison Twins.
Deep cut.
Yeah. Okay. So. Show opens with there's been some sort of crime, some sort of shooting or something at the bowling alley, at the front of the bowling alley.
Okay.
And Reyes and Ryan are there investigating. And so it starts off that thread, which is your main thread.
Reyes and Joey Ryan. Okay.
Reyes and Joey Ryan. Or
Officer Meehan.
Officer Meehan. And as they're kind of doing their investigation, the firemen show up because they have, that's part of procedure and stuff, and they kind of take digs at them. And we learn that there's a long-standing rivalry between the cops, this particular precinct, and this particular fire department. So the backdrop of this episode, while they try to solve the mystery of the bowling alley, is this the team police squad against team fire department in a bowling match. Bowling game.
Who's on the police? Or who's on the fire department squad?
So I was thinking. Here's what I was thinking. It's only like dreamboat wrestlers, like really hunky blonde wrestlers. Like you just hate them. You just can't stand them. Like really arrogant.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, perfect.
A young
maybe Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger is no dreamboat.
Hunky. You're right. I'm just thinking of more like an alpha male.
Have you seen Jack Swagger's wife, though? You'd think he was on
her. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Take a tour on his Twitter.
Yeah. So anyways, and as they have to put their team together, maybe Scarlet Pimpernella is like their dark horse.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, right. And it all kind of wraps up with, let's say, they end up kind of having cops and fire departments still have to work together to solve the
AR Fox, I think, is a dreamboat.
The murder. And then they have their last match, or they have their last bowling match, and whatever seeds we've set up there to
they get
whoever
to
can get
solve the crime.
No. Whatever seeds we had set up in that terms of. The crime is your A plot. Your B plot is the bowling match, and where maybe there's whatever kind of story between characters there ends up working out to help the police win the.
Okay. Oh, it turns out it was the guy who resets the pins.
Or something like that.
He murdered.
Right? Yeah. some schmo.
Cobra Moon.
Some-
Yeah.
You're just killing off the characters.
Well, you have to. If you're gonna murder, it's a murder show. Is it a murder show or is it not a murder show? It's a murder show.
But I mean, you're not gonna start knocking off, gods, queens. This has to be like a somebody like a long.
So they're all playing their same characters.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay, I got you
to some extent.
Okay, so that's Lucha City Nights. We're doing an outro for this segment now.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I see that I'm not letting that thing die a man in the wedge death.
One quick second. Here's the Edison twins.
He called the Edison twins.
Wow, this is mind blowing. Couple of gingers.
Yeah, it was always it was educational. It was it's like a drama, I guess, but light drama.
It was a mystery show.
Light drama mystery.
Yeah. You always learned a little something about science.
Yep,
a couple of science nerds.
Anyways, back to the temple. Next, Lucha. I've never really been calling it that. I should.
Yes. The following Lucha.
Cage, yep. Mm-hmm. Cage with wearing the gauntlet against Veneno. I'm like, right away, we know who it is. And I'm like,
I'm glad he didn't come out with the... This did make me laugh.
I loved this.
Yeah, when he came out, it was like, you're dead.
I know.
You're going to die.
It only got better.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't really played for humor.
I know.
Ricky Reyes is the most tragic character.
Yes, just bad luck Cortez. Bad luck Cortez. So he's got the Spider-Man mask. Cage no selling to start. Veneno trying to use his speed, and then that awesome suplex into the pile driver that I don't think we'd ever seen from Cage as like a clear finisher.
Yeah, and I think that's supposed to be like, he's changed.
Yeah,
now he has this new, more powerful finisher.
And you also saw that his demeanor was changing when he was kind of going after the ref after the match, and he kind of sells the glove. Yeah, great.
I love
stuff.
that moment.
Yep. Good character development.
What do you think about him taking the glove off when he wrestled?
It makes sense in terms of like if this referee is supposed to be
that's true
level.
That's true. I understand practically why they had to do it. It just seemed a little weird. Maybe but hey, whatever, it is what it is.
So Reyes gets destroyed. Right after Sexy Star comes running in, and I am laughing so hard already because I know how she's kind of put two and two together here because he's wearing, of all the masks she made him, it had to have a spider on it.
Totally.
And I know he's got nothing to do with it. The poor guy gets beat up a little bit more.
By Sexy Star, because she thinks he's the one who's been putting the fake spiders in her locker.
Well, I think we should have had a scene with her apologizing to Mary Polisati.
That's right. That's right. Good point.
And so just a quick little thing. That was just whatever. Not the...
I loved it.
I thought
and
it was
she was
awesome.
in her civilian gear too. She was like literally just working out. That was so great because she was so pissed. She ran out, beat him up. Poor, I can't. Oh God, we have to wait like 6 months to see what happens next with
the spiders. With
the
plastic spiders.
Veneno is like my new favorite character.
So can you give me a different mask, please?
This is not working out. Everybody's beating the hell out of me. I don't know why even.
Like, what do your reports say on Sexy Star and spiders? Because she's clearly not a fan.
It was. That might be like that.
Like it's a match.
The reason why it works so well is because it's so logical.
I know.
And like that kind of writing is just so absent from wrestling in general, but it seems so simple.
Yeah, it's so smart.
It was a brilliant, brilliant moment. Do you? Okay, here's a thought. Here's a thought. So assuming that, I guess I'm making an assumption here that whoever is responsible for those spiders is a female.
Yeah.
Okay. If that is true, and Captain Vasquez, we know is a powerful person with this amulet and everything, and she hands over a spider-themed mask.
Yes, I was thinking this in the back of my mind.
Castro. Do you think that maybe this is going to a place where Captain Vasquez is responsible for the spiders.
Quite possible. Mm-hmm. Quite possible. Yeah.
I hope not. I hope it's just a hilarious coincidence.
Yes, me too.
Poor Ricky Reyes, man.
So funny.
It is. It's just so
It's
good.
because he didn't tweet back at us when we mentioned him last week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we should see if we can connect with him about that. It's so funny.
So next segment's back on look in the dark. Puma Dark is working out.
Is that what we're calling him now? Puma Dark?
Yeah, I think I've seen that name on. That might just have been created by online Lucha Underground fans, but he's working out to cellos. Some real serious cellos going on here. Got flash cuts of his career. It shows his torment. And Conan.
We see Conan.
Yeah, and he had a quote that was, "You're never the same when you die." He says, "I only one vision. And promises pain for Mil Muertes." Oh, it's Katrina says, "You're never the same when you die." Pardon me.
Sure.
And because she comes in and promises only pain for Mil Muertes, she says vice versa and does her vanish bit.
Yeah.
And Puma does a backflip and punches the punching bag.
Hits it with sticks.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, hits it. Breaks it.
This whole sequence, I mean, is fine, but a lot. I do notice that a lot of these scenes between Katrina and wrestlers in hallways or when they're training really, for me, are not necessary. I already know this stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I know that Puma is, leaning towards the dark side.
Yeah,
it's going to be Mil's blood. Oh no, it's going to be your blood.
Oh, wait. So they don't like each other.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't think this accomplished anything.
Me neither. I would have liked to have seen Sexy Star apologizing to Mariposa.
Hi. Just a one-sided cell conversation where she gets, "Hi, I didn't want to get your voice box, but well, here goes." So, moths and spiders, I've done a little bit of reading. They are not friends and not connected in any way. I took things out on you. And have you heard of Veneno? So he rolls in wearing a spider mask. So first of all, my face was red. Then I felt I needed to call and let you know I made a mistake.
Yeah.
All in Spanish, of course.
Yes, this is true. Did she was, of course, she's only speaking Spanish when she runs into the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Dragon Azteca Jr. is bilingual, though. We heard him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Which leads us to our next match, which is El Dragon Azteca Jr. versus the Monster Matanza. Right away, El Dragon Azteca Jr. enters with no headdress because he's serious.
That's right. Thank God.
Yeah. But I'm going to say right now, I don't know if we've really mentioned it before, I think his mask is too much like a watermelon.
This was a different mask. This was slightly different.
This mask was too much like a watermelon for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the original one was basically a watermelon.
Yeah. Well, it's watermelon-esque. That's so Dragon Azteca with some really creative rope work early. Matanza pounds away on him. Gets a chair, sets it up in the corner.
I was not a fan of this chair spot.
No?
Because I don't think that Matanza is the type of character who is going to go out, grab a chair, come back, set it up in a specific way, then grab somebody and throw it into it. He might be the type of guy who goes, gets a chair and comes back in and hits you with it. Yeah, exactly. So this felt out of character for him.
A little too much psychology or different kind of psychology than we usually see from Matanza.
Absolutely.
But it ended up being a good spot outside of that. I thought they just kept teasing it and then ends up with what's his name just throwing it at him, which is good. Vampiro started to moan again.
I know. I was why are we going back to this?
This is what sometimes he's a step off. This is what he's that full leap off.
Yeah. Do you think that just the fact that he started kind of having those orgasmic groans in reaction to the violence, and do you think that there's a chance that he is somehow going to get wrapped up in this with Dragon Azteca Jr.? Listen, Dragon Azteca Jr. at the end of this is murdered. It's killed.
Yes.
So now somebody needs to bring him back from the dead. Vampiro has the ability to do that.
Possible.
He was invested in this match while he was watching it.
Yeah. And he's always kind of like when Dragon Azteca Jr. made his first appearance. Remember, he was so into like this means something. This goes back lineage and stuff. So he's always kind of had a, if that's deliberate or not. It seems like he's had his eye on him.
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be nice if he starts just kind of raising these his dark army.
How would this for a trio? Dark Dragon Azteca Jr., Dark Puma, Dark King Cuerno.
King Cuerno, I like it. Or Pentagon Dark, unless they're still on the outs.
Oh, I think that their friendship has not been mended.
Yeah. So that chair is set up in the corner, and it led to that wild kind of tope flip to the outside from Dragon Azteca Jr., where he used that chair. Like I said, I agree with you in how it got set up there, but once it was there, it became a really good part of the storytelling. Matanza starts to beat the shit out of him. Curving, or what did he do? He carried him, Dragon Azteca, to the top of the stairs. Let's see, there's no tap outs, they mentioned. There's where they start to talk about the death match. I went up to a new part of the temple in terms of we've never really seen anything over there.
Totally.
It led to another, like off of like a steel girder, another crazy flip from Dragon Azteca Jr.
That looked very hard to pull off because he really did not have a lot of leverage. The way he sprung off the wall like that,
I was way into this match. Here's that heat that wasn't there for the crowd earlier. And just crazy great brawling, and then leads to that choke slam through the bleachers. Which that was crazy visual.
Yeah, it's so shocking.
Yeah, wow. Did not see the end coming there. Yeah. Great stuff. I went 3 3/4 on this, but the post match was just as great, and it got like if you wanted to include it because there was a lot of work involved in it with Rey entering in a panic. Matanza started pushing fans like guys clearly a mark or clearly a plant I think, but still looked fucking awesome. Matanza tosses Rey over the rail up high. More great stuff from both. They're using the environment. Nasty run of Rey into the wall. Then to the guardrail, crowd trying to cheer Rey on, and then finally Rey off of Matanzo's momentum flips him through the roof of Dario Cueto's office. Dario Cueto starts.
That wasn't the office. That was the room on the opposite side.
Okay, that one utility room or whatever. Yeah. But Dario starts freaking out, kicking everybody out of the temple, ringing the bell. Awesome
security
finish.
Is not there. Suddenly.
Yeah, they've already. But if only my security.
Yeah. Why do you have security? You have a wrestler who's like attacking fans, and the security who is just. It's like
who are these?
Fuck
people?
That moment. That was so stupid.
Yeah. Awesome finish. Great visual. This is what I was talking about. And at that point, I'm just like, great. Yeah, that's a great. This does feel like a mid-season finale. This is a real high point that you're seeing. But then, speaking of cliffhangers, we get this last vignette. Where for the first time we see Melissa Santos involved in a vignette, and Marty is creeping on her. And I wrote down 3 letters, OMG, Max.
Well, we don't know that she's actually going to be involved in anything.
I'm just saying, the fact that you had this juxtaposition of the two of them is kind of like, ooh, this looks like she's getting involved in a different way.
Maybe
than she. It's a possibility, right?
I think it's certainly a possibility when the way the whole thing played out.
So then it cuts to Marty tied up by Mariposa.
Yeah, he gets ambushed, knocked out.
Did he? Yeah, okay. But he also said, I did good.
Yeah.
So what happened? What happened?
I don't know. He's watching Melissa Santos leave the temple. He gets ambushed and knocked out. Then he wakes up and Mariposa has tied him up. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I did good. And that's basically where we're at. But I don't think anything happened. I don't think he did anything.
So what the hell is he talking about?
I don't know. He's a crazy guy. We don't know.
No, I think something's happened.
Between him and Melissa Santos?
Or him and Melissa Santos and Mariposa. Like, clearly Marty and Mariposa have their relationship has changed a bit post-choke slam.
Yeah, why?
But it's not entirely adversarial or it would suggest at the end.
See, I got the impression that, I did good had something to do with that choke slam.
Oh, because now he's getting tied up and he's more into that side of things.
And I'm not totally convinced that Melissa Santos is this this implies that Melissa Santos is going to be in on it. I think this could have just been like, oh, here's an insight into what like Marty does on a regular basis. Like he's just like obsessed with Melissa Santos.
Maybe.
So, it was shot from his perspective.
Maybe.
And then he turns around and then
Maybe.
And then the actual story is him being ambushed and everything like that.
Yeah, I guess. And then they do have that kind of history of just the way he creeps on her when she announces and stuff.
Yeah, like it's the equivalent of cutting to him watching television, but instead of him watching television, it's
this is
what he does.
I see your point, but I think that there is an argument to be made that she was placed there for a reason.
All right, well, we shall see.
I know, but this is what I'm saying, man. Like that, you know my love for her, and to see all of a sudden
you've been conspicuously silent about her.
Well, it's just it's like I mentioned about Katrina a while back when she made that entrance that we almost just forget how on her character she is, and that's I think you just start to take advantage with or just take it for granted in Melissa's case.
Sure. So let's see if they have a return date up yet for the next episode. No.
Nope.
The next one is episode 20. All Night Long again.
Yeah.
The Mac takes on Johnny Mundo in an all night long match, and that's pretty much all we have to go on. No return date set, but if they're saying 6 months, I mean that's going to put us at June.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
So in the meantime, we're going to take 1 week off, so we won't be with you next week, but we are looking to start something up, sort of a detour podcast in the meantime.
The DD Tour.
Oh, that's not bad. The Detour, the Dramatic Dream Team Detour podcast. Something like that. Huh. Anyways, Dramatic Dream Team is maybe the third most popular promotion in Japan, and they are launching their own streaming service on January 23rd. Mm-hmm. Right now, the thought
is
that...
Who do you have at number 2?
Dragon Gate or All Japan.
I was going to put Dragon Gate and All Japan. I'd put it fourth.
Yeah. So they have their own streaming service that's going to be starting on January 23rd. On that streaming service is the DDT actually runs like four separate sort of promotions, and all 4 are underneath this. So there'll be lots to talk about, lots of interesting wrestling to witness and to relay to anybody who's interested.
And I think it's in our wheelhouse in terms of the absurdity and the way we like to embrace the absurdity.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you're not sure if you're interested in that, know this, that it's Kota Ibushi's home promotion. It launched the career of Kenny Omega as well. They are the promotion that's responsible for that Iron Man belt that changes hands on like a daily basis.
Has changed hands during dreams.
Yes,
that's my real knowledge of the extent of my knowledge of DDT.
There
so this will be a good.
They're also responsible for the Joey Ryan's like penis plex. That's where he debuted it, and all the
U-porn plex.
Whatever.
Don't forget about our sponsors.
They're not our sponsors.
They're my sponsor at heart.
So they will typical liberal, totally okay with pornography.
Yeah.
Probably wants to teach it to our kids.
I didn't come here to make friends.
Okay, and so we're thinking about that. We'll see what the broadcast schedule is like, but I'm definitely signing up for that, and so should you.
Yeah, and don't forget to mention your Cody Rhodes fan letter, weekly fan letter.
So I, Travis, how much you read about wrestling on the internet?
Quite a bit.
Me too. And I find that it's hard to. There's lots of news bites out there.
Yep.
But there's very little. It's hard to find the longer think pieces, and they're spread out all across the web. So I have launched something called the Headlock newsletter. It comes out once a week. It's delivered to your inbox for free, and basically it is a collection of all of the best most well-written, most interesting wrestling articles that I have discovered over the course of a week. I'll also throw in a link to a full match that I discovered and that I've enjoyed that I think people should watch, and also some good merch. Now, I don't make $1 off the merch, but I just think it's merch you can wear and not look like an asshole.
Yeah.
So definitely you can subscribe if you just search for me on Twitter, Headlock Newsletter on Twitter.
It's great stuff.
You can find the link to subscribe. It comes out weekly, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and you should sign up.
Yeah.
Other than that, anything else going on? What's going on with your Calgary Stampede podcast?
We Kelly's Kelly's a little podcasted out, and he's spending some time with family in Victoria. But hopefully, I want to get it done before I leave for the States, because I'm going down for the inauguration party. Oh, God. No, I'm going to be in Disneyland, taking my little girl to Disneyland. That's what I'm doing on January 20th.
What a guy.
The happiest place on earth.
Family values.
That's right.
Family values.
But yeah, well, hopefully.
Did not mean to hit
Hopefully
that.
soon. Hopefully soon. We'll wrap things up.
Okay, so we'll be on hiatus next week, but in the meantime, enjoy yourself. Will you join us? I don't know what the... we'll see you in 6 months.
Question is, will you join us?